say this for the record, not only the written record, but also the electronic record. We have an agenda to adopt, and we have 2 hours to, nearly 2 hours to hold our general conference. And you have all had the agenda and the material, or you have had a possibility to collect it on the website, and hopefully you have done so. But I should just like to read the agenda. We are having a report on UBC activities and strategy, the auditor's report, the Board of Audit report, absolving the Presidium, Executive Board and the Secretary. Then we have to decide on the membership fees for the period 2018 to 2019. We have to elect the Executive Board for the next period, also the same 2 years, and the President and Vice Presidents in the next period. And then we also have to elect the Board of Audit in the next period, and then we come to the discussions and questions, and after that, decision of the venue of the next General Conference in the autumn 2019. Can we adopt that agenda? If so, it has been done. You've all listened to beautiful music downstairs, and I must say I'm impressed by the standards of the young people of Växjö. In the music school and the, I don't know if you call it academy or whatever, but just before the level just before conservatory, and being a jazz fan, I really appreciated the beautiful and good singer and her backing group. But we also have to have some cultural event during our session today, and therefore we are going to start with a small musical entertainment here. I hope you will enjoy it.
Don't know what love is until you've learned the meaning of the blues, until you love the love you've had to lose. You don't know what love is. You don't know how lips hurts until you've kissed and had to pay the cost, until you flipped your heart and you're at loss. You don't know what love is. Do you know how a lost heart fears the thought of reminiscing, and how lips have taste of tears, but then lose the a taste for kissing. You don't know how hearts burn for love that cannot live yet never dies. Until you faced each dawn with sleepless eyes, you don't know what love is. You don't know what love is until you learn the meaning of the blues, until you love the love you've had to lose. How could you know what love is?
I don't know about you, but I nearly heard Billie Holiday in the blues. Fantastic, thank you. And now I have an announcement to make. Some cities have not collected their voting cards yet. We cannot start before you've all collected your voting cards. Somebody with a bad conscience? Yep. Where do we have the voting cards? Oh, more than you're not alone. You're not walking alone, Jürgen. It's good. It's just one a set of voting cards per city, not per representative. And now they are collecting the voting cards. You get one blue one and one red one. We have not yet decided which one is yes and which one is no. We'll decide that when you have voted. I mean, practical democracy. I don't know if you have noticed the music around here, the youngsters playing so beautifully. It struck me that you could say the easiest way of getting attention is if you can play fast and noisy. And quite a lot of pupils start doing that, but then as long as they promote themselves, they get better. The fine thing is when they can play just like this, slow, and also in a very soft way. And they did that down in the lobby just before as well. So I think it's good that we're having a breed of new young musicians knowing their craftsmanship and the art. And thank you, Växjö, for presenting your city in beautiful sunshine as well. It's good planning. I'm just trying to keep things going. I guess we are nearly there. Okay, I guess we can, no.
bara säga till dig att vi har ju en VIP-lunch för nya styrelsen nere på samma ställe när ni hade Mayors lunch. Så att ni vet om det, så att det är klart. Ja, men bara för jag var lite osäker på hur väl det kommuniceras.
Okay, I think we can start the statutory General Conference now. And I shall do that by saying, dear members, UBC members and friends, my biannual report will refer to the written report that you have found on the UBC website. And I'm sure you've read it carefully, all 19 pages. Therefore, I shall not read that one loudly, but make some comments on matters that I find important and that maybe characterize the last 2 years' work in general. First of all, it has been a very busy period to all parts of our organization, and all parts of the UBC have been contributing. Visibility is important, if not crucial, to any enterprise, and maybe especially so to political bodies if they want to be heard and seen. The board decided, therefore, to make a facelift to all media where we make use of. The result was a new UBC logo, a new web page, newsletter makeup, and the same to the social media. And I think we can be very satisfied with the result. The commissions have all contributed to policy making, not only in the Baltic Sea region, but also in an international context. Sustainability has been a key item and will be so in the years to come. In the member cities, in cooperation with the UN and on the defined goals, together with water people, having a reunion parallel to our General Conference, and a lot more, you can read about or hear from the members of that commission. But mentioned shall be the cooperation with the EU, SBSR, the Baltic Sea region EU collaboration, where it has received flagship status for the 2 projects, iWater and iWAMA. Mentioned shall also be the CDP and the CBSS Baltic Sea 2030 Action Plan as good collaboration partners. So you can inform yourself as well as of a high activity plan in the Cultural Cities Commission, having discussed, of course, cultures of sustainability, connections between culture, education, and new technologies, just to mention some of their activities. Inclusive and Healthy Cities Commission is one of the newer commissions in our family. Discussions have been on open spaces and naturally on refugee influx, as well as participation in the UBC conference preparatory meeting in Rostock, addressing migration issues in Europe, such as the subject to the conference in March in Rostock, and you shall hear about that later, because Roland Medling, the mayor of Rostock, has kindly invited us to come to the follow-up conference in March next year. The Planning Commission have had a number of conferences, amongst these the Rediscovering Waters in the Cities, and from a growing to a great city, they called one of them as well. Again, the Planning Commission have offered their expertise to member cities, asking for answers to special planning challenges, and that for free. Safe Cities Commission, also a fairly new branch on the tree, has participated in a joint commission meeting between Sustainable Cities, Safe Cities, and Cultural Cities Commissions to discuss how to produce sustainable events from small-scale events, and the outcome has been collaboration in developing, which I think is very interesting, a sustainable event management guidebook. And we shall be looking forward to having this published. But also, you could say, more natural topics for that commission, such as police, civil protection, and crisis management, has been on the agenda. Please make note of the Project Cascade. I shall not reveal that what is it all about, but please ask Commission members and you will get very good answers to your questions. And apart from that, the Commission worked regularly with the CBSS and also the EU on security matters. The Smart and Prosperous Cities Commission has been active on more topics. Creative ports seem to be obvious in our region, but also ports must adapt to new times and demands, and a positive cooperation with the private sector can make the necessary innovation to make not only the port but the region it serves more competitive. The cooperation partners for this Commission are the Baltic Development Forum, Goethe Institute, Swedish Institute, String and International Urban Development Association. Youthful Cities Commission has taken another approach to their work, understandably enough. Youth leisure time has been one topic, new cultures of education another, focusing on different connections between culture, education, and new technologies. Life online, another theme for discussion, and very, very actual. Participation in other fora has led to a conference together with the BSSC and the ERB, discussing the youth participation in decision-making. Important questions to be discussed and important initiatives to be taken for the future leadership in our cities. Gender equality is not a commission but a working group, meaning that a working group can work horizontally, also in dealing with commission matters that might evoke a gender equality aspect. The working group will work on the idea of the conference regarding immigrants and refugees. Sorry, that is not it. Yes, to be held in Rostock in March. This has just been a brief description of some of the work. And as I said, you will have 19 pages to go through, but there has been a lot of other works done, of course, to the benefit of UBC cities in the commissions alone or in cooperation with other organizations. Please remember, the more you participate, the more you get for your salary, and the more pieces of good advice you get it for free. That was my pick of activities from the commissions, and you are, of course, very welcome to put questions forward later on. Now to the Secretariat and its activities. The Baltic Cities Bulletin still exists. Many good stories from all around the Baltic Sea area, from the top of the Baltic cities to the cities in the south, and from St. Petersburg and to Bergen. Covering the life, the development, and challenges of our cities in our part of Europe. And you can still find the bulletins on the UBC web. The board decided earlier to make a survey on the work of the Secretariat and the service given to member cities. For that reason, the well-accepted consultant company KPMG, the Turku branch, was chosen. The report was released just before the board meeting in Berlin in June, and the board decided that comments and suggestions should be forwarded to the President at latest on the 15th of August. The comments, be it from members of the staff, be it from members or from the staff, was thereafter distributed to the Presidium for comments. And the KPMG company has made some corrections due to factual and misunderstandings. At the board meeting yesterday, the report was once again discussed, and it shall now be up to the board for the next two-year period to deal with the recommendations based on a work group that shall make some recommendations to the board. I'm saying this because we have a very tight schedule for that. We have decided that we should finish that job before the end of September next year, and of course the cities paying their fee shall also be involved in this transparent process we are starting now. I should like to end my biannual report thanking the colleagues in the Presidium and Board as well as our observers, being helpful in daily matters. Thanks also to the Board of Audit, looking over our shoulders, and rightly so, but always constructive in suggestions and solutions. I should also like to thank all our cooperation bodies. It is my belief that the more we cooperate, the more we can accomplish. We need not to do the same work twice, and our voices are better heard and listened to. Also, thank you to the members of the Secretariat. It's not the biggest secretariat in the world, but definitely a great one. And then I would like also to say a special thank to the city of Gdańsk, having hosted our secretariat, and we have these offices there for the period since the very start, the very beginning of the UBC. Thank you very much. We appreciate it, and we cherish your involvement in the UBC. And now, thank you also, it's last but not least, thank you to all the member cities for supporting the fantastic idea of a prosperous, democratic and peaceful Baltic Sea area. And to the member cities hosting our board meeting. Always interesting programs telling a lot of Baltic stories as well. And I think it might be the time saying that due to, in the present situation, it is needed more than ever that cities also show that they can cooperate in a part of Europe, having maybe experienced a development that we could not foresee, but it has come and we're part of that. That was my report to you, and it can be discussed, of course. I should like to suggest that we go on with the auditor's report, and after that the other points, and then we take the general debate after that. So therefore, I should like to turn to the auditor's report and ask Pavel, our Secretary General, to present that.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will briefly present findings of the auditor. The audit for the years 2015 and 2016 was performed by Chartered Auditor, registered at the National Board of Chartered Auditors in Warsaw, on the strength of the contract concluded between auditing company Bilans of Gdańsk and the Union of the Baltic Cities. The UBC books are managed by Association of Chartered Auditors and Tax Experts of Gdańsk. The chart of accounts was developed basing on the standard chart of accounts for social and professional organizations, associations and endowments issued by the Association of Accountants of Poland. Accounting documents are complete and adequate, checked from accounting and material point of view. The documents are stored correctly. Financial statement of the Union of the Baltic Cities includes the balance sheet as on 31st of December 2015 and 2016 with assets and liabilities, and also profit and loss account for the period covering the time from the 1st of January till 31st of December of respective 2 years. The financial statements have been presented to the Executive Board at the first board meeting of each of respective years, and then financial statements, they were published on the UBC website, so every member city of Union of Baltic Cities have an access to the financial reports. And finally, the summary of the audit, the final findings. Accounting of Union of the Baltic Cities is kept in accordance with the Accounting Act of 29 September 1994. The financial statement was prepared in accordance with Appendix number 4 for entities which are required, the balance sheet and the profit and loss account. Finally, the audit states that incomes and costs are correct, the principle of continuity is maintained, and the financial result of 2015 and 16 is reflected truly and fairly. And the documents are signed by Mrs. Jadwiga Zemło, the Chartered Auditor from Association of Chartered Auditors of Tax Experts in Poland. Thank you.
Thank you, Pavel, for that report. And now the Board of Audit report, and I guess it is Jukka Vilens who will present that. So you are on your way. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ladies, gentlemen, dear friends, I will tell you a few details about the report from the UBC Board of Audit. The document itself is attached among the conference documents, so you will find it there. The Board of Audit makes the following statements, and I have 13 different points. We have read the minutes from the Executive Board meetings in 2015 and 2016. The assessment of the book is commissioned to the licensed company Baltic Dansk according to the decision of the 12th General Conference in Gdynia 2015. Baltic has checked correctness of the books and their contents in accordance with the Polish bookkeeping rules. They have found everything in order. The 12th General Conference decided upon a proposal from the Mayor of Gdansk that the city of Gdansk will continue to take the responsibility for the UBC Secretariat for the years 2016 to 2018. The employees of the office all have an employment relationship with the city of Gdansk. The Board of Audit finds good that reports and activity plans from the commissions have good standard, and most of the commission use the standard reporting form. We have noted that the Executive Board has given the Presidium mandate to decide over the Commission budgets and financial issues. However, there are no documents to follow up the decisions made by the Presidium. Financial reports for 2015 and 2016 has been discussed in the Executive Board. We noted that the new streamlined Commission structure has clarified and enhanced the work of the UBC. More member cities need to be engaged to the Commission activities. Work of the task forces has been flexible and effective way to handle the unexpected challenges we have faced. UBC strategy work has been consistent and has clarified the role of the UBC. UBC activities are shown at UBC webpage in a good way. And the final point, we would like to thank all the key actors of giving their time and effort for the UBC. The Board of Audit recommends that the 13th UBC General Conference in Växjö 2017. First point, the role of the Presidium in use of the economic resources needs to be more regulated. Second point, to have close contact to member cities and create added value to them, new cost-efficient and modern ways to work needs to be implemented. Third point, to express the General Conference gratitude towards the city of Gdansk for its generous support to UBC. Finally, on the basis of a completed examination, we propose to the 13th General Conference in Växjö to decide to absorb the Executive Board and the Secretary General for the years 2015 and 2016. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes my short presentation.
Thank you for your report, and also, once again, thank you for your good work. And I would like to underline, always with constructive suggestions to make things better in our daily work. We have solving of the Presidium, Executive Board, and the Secretary, and maybe we should take the three. I know I said we were going to take the discussion afterwards, but now we have reached a point where we could say, can we vote for the audit? The auditor's report is the auditor's report. It has to be taken into account. But the Board of Audit report should be accepted here, and can we do so? Now we come to the point where we need to use the voting cards. I should like to suggest that we use the blue one for a yes and the red one for a no. So, can we accept can we approve the Board of Audit report? And if so, the blue one is a yes. Thank you. Do I see any red ones? No? Thank you very much. It has been approved. Can we also absolve the Presidium, Executive Board and Secretary? Blue ones are yes, red ones are no. Blue ones. Thank you. And any red ones? Not that. Because I have the problem here, because actually you're sitting there with a red shirt on, a red, and you're having nearly a red one. There's another red one over there. So, but there were no red ones. Thank you. And then we come to the membership fees for 2018 and 2019. And here you have the recommendation of the board. We had a thorough discussion in Berlin at the board meeting in June. And now we should like to suggest that the former division between East and West will be abolished. Now we are one part, a unit in our work, and that is the suggestion for the new membership fees. This I should like also to have, that should be also voted on. But if so, if any comments, then we can have them now. If that not being the case, can we vote? If so, please vote yes or no. Blue ones still yes, and red ones no. I see blue ones, yes. And any red ones? I see no. One red one. Okay, fine. But the majority, and I hope you will agree on that, the majority has voted yes to the new membership fees. Then we come to the executive board in the next period. And we have had some, you know, the way to do that is that we have the cities of a country will appoint one of the cities to be the member of the board for the next period. And do we have the list of suggestions? So Denmark has proposed the Næstved to continue. We have a special situation, and I have to ask you to also maybe just to comment on that or to accept it, that Estonia has just had their elections. So they should like Keila to be, for the next 2 months or 3 months, rest of the year, continuing as a member city, but then they are having their way of electing after that period, and that might mean that we're having another city from Estonia as our member of the board. And can we accept that? You could say it's a bit, well, it's a practicality, but we can be, I guess, also flexible in that way. That has been accepted by the General Conference. I think we need not to vote on it, but yes. Lahti in Finland, Rostock from Germany, Liepāja from Latvia, Tauragė from Lithuania, Kristiansand, Norway, Gdynia from Poland, St. Petersburg, Russia, Växjö, Sweden, and Gdańsk, with the observer post that we had the discussion about earlier at an earlier General Conference, but also that is the acceptance of having that observer post because of the homestead of our Secretariat. Can we agree on that? Then I should like you to make your votes. Blue ones are still yes. Thank you very much. And the red ones, if any, are no, would be no. No red ones. So this is the board for the upcoming period. Thank you very much. Then we have the election of president and vice presidents, and also from the material you can see the suggestions for these posts. And I shall start with the President because it stands first, and my name has been suggested by the City of Kolding. We have had no other names in written up till now. I shall ask if there might be any other candidates, because then that is now. If not so, I should like you also to show your cards. Yes, it's still the blue one. And thank you. I dare not ask for any red ones. But of course you can do that. Thank you very much. Thank you. I shall do my best to my last period. In 2 years, I have, according to statutes, not a possibility of campaigning again. Then we have the vice presidents, and as you know, we have 3 vice presidents, and I have 3 names for them. I have, we got these names as well? Yeah, we have. Then we have Marie-Louise Rönnmark from the city of Umeå, Mantas Jurgutis from Kaunas, and Jarkko Virtanen from Turku. Yes, and Per, you should like to? Yes, you can, of course.
Thank you, Mr. President, and congratulations to another term, 2 years term. First of all, I would like to say that I support all the candidates. I know Marie-Louise is not here today, unfortunately, but I would like to express at least my backing for Marie-Louise's candidacy for the next 2 years. There are several reasons for that. One of the reasons, to be quite honest, it's as you see, from a gender perspective. Marie-Louise is completing at least, and I support it strongly because it gives a good dimension, and we've talked about it quite extensively, and I would just like to say those words here. So in general, Marie-Louise has my full support, but of course the whole list there, so I have no other objections to that. So my cards are blue all through these points.
Yes, it might be that you might wonder why, but suddenly we had a situation where the Swedish cities had 2 candidates, and the 2 candidates took a good talk about it, what you just said. I think it's a good way of working, and now we have Marie-Louise in the presidium, and maybe the city of Växjö would appoint the former speaker here. One never knows, but you shall be welcome. Thank you very much. We have then the blue cards for the vice presidents. Or, yes, please. Thank you. Any red cards? That not being the case, they have been elected, and thank you for that. Then we have the Board of Audit for the next period. And here again, we have, I'm happy to say that we have asked the Board of Audit if they would be ready to run for 2 more years, and they have said yes. So Marta, Jukka, and Roger. Roger is not here, but I talked to him yesterday, and he has accepted as well. And can we also vote on them? So we can vote with the blue cards if yes, and the red cards if no. Please vote. And that is blue cards. Any red cards? No. Thank you very much. We have elected now the Board of Audit for the next 2-year period. Now we come, Now we come to the open discussion on the report that you had in the biannual report. You have in on the website from the documents, and also I have asked Mikko just to give a brief statement on the strategy work, because you remember, I'm sure, that a couple of years ago we we started a strategy work, and that is running until 21. So therefore, I thought it would be a good idea to have that update, you could call it, and please, Mikko, as the chair of that group, would you please give us that update?
Mr. Chairman, dear friends and colleagues, the President already mentioned a number of issues, key issues in his report, and of course we have the long report produced in a written form, so I would not repeat those. As many of you remember, in the last General Conference we adopted a strategy for until year 2021. But also, as part of that, we defined a work program for the 2-year period, which is ending today. And there, our key tasks was to ensure that the UBC continues its positive renewal process and that it also in future creates added value for its member cities. The Presidium and the Executive Committee were called upon in the coming 2 years to ensure that the effective functioning of the UBC structures will continue, that we improve our communication capabilities, and listed a number of issues under these headings. One of our key concerns in the long renewal process has been to ensure that the commissions would function in a proper way. Commissions are the heart of the work, which also offer for the member cities the possibility, each member city the possibility to actively contribute and actively gain experiences from others. I could say it's a general evaluation that the renewal of the commission structure has proved to be beneficial. I think we have now better functioning commissions than earlier. This came also in the auditor's report, and that is very, very good. But still, we have quite a lot to do to ensure that the commissions as a whole, each one of them, would perform the role which we would like to see. I think there is still quite a lot of unevenness and even some worries concerning some commissions. So I think there is, as an Englishman would say, there is still some room for improvement. We have also achieved quite a number of very positive things. You have noted already in this General Conference when we have discussed the importance of engaging youth. The whole vitality and atmosphere in this conference has been energized by the presence of young participants. That is, I think, extremely important for the implementation of our strategy, and we must continue on this route. We have also achieved a number of good things in various issues, like the question of integration of refugees, where the city of Rostock has been actively leading the way. We have taken steps in the field of gender equality and equality, where the cities of Helsinki and Gdansk have been very prominently active together with others, and many other fields, not to speak about the more established and long-term successes like the sustainable development issues and so on. So we are on a good road, but much remains to be done. I would like to say a few words about one other dimension where we may still do quite a lot of improvement. Karl-Heinz Lamberts, the president of the Committee of Regions, and some other speakers, Peter Schenk from the DG Regio of the European Commission and others, have referred many times to the European Union strategy for the Baltic Sea region. This is a new innovative way of thinking to bring together regional actors in issues where one country or city is too small, and maybe Europe is a little bit too big. So to bring natural partners into cooperation, as we do on the city level within the UBC, it has created a joint, good, practical framework for cooperation. And with clearly defined platform, goals, tasks, responsibilities, and so on. I think the UBC and the cities of the UBC should better utilize this opportunity, this platform. We are doing quite well here. I know that in the sustainable development field and other fields, our cities are very active. But we could also be in other issues active. And be it integration of social issues or youth cooperation or innovative enterprises, all these, because there is ample room for cooperation within the strategy. So I think I would make a recommendation that we would sharpen up this work. One idea could be that when we have in Rostock, the general conference, not the general conference, but the conference on integration, within maybe, or back to that, we could also have the representatives of member cities to discuss how we coordinate our activities vis-à-vis the European Union strategy for the Baltic Sea region. Because many people are anyhow coming to Rostock. So let's use that one as an example. The other thing is that 2 years ago, UBC, together with the Swedish Institute of Sweden and the Baltic Sea NGO network, were nominated by the European Union member states to be coordinators of something which is called horizontal action capacity. Our task, as one of the 3 actors here, is to help cities and local authorities and regions and universities, civil society organizations to come and join the cooperative work within the EU strategy. It's a big cake, big task for us, but UBC is well placed to do that. And one of the forthcoming possibilities for that is that the Estonian government will be hosting the annual forum of EU next June in Tallinn. And I know that the Estonian Foreign Office and Estonian government has already been in contact with our Estonian friends, Toivo Riima and others, to play an important role in preparing the participation day where cities and mayors and others can come together back to the big forum to discuss common issues and so on. We should see that there are many mayors and city representatives participating in this forum in June there. So this is an appeal to you also, because in our strategy, this EU SBR is featuring as a key item. I think, Mr. Chairman, I'll stop here. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that orientation of all of us, Mikko, and I think you point out some very precise ways of doing other sorts of work. Of course, if we do have the time for it, because both being active in the local management and politics, and then also in the UBC. Takes time, but it's worth it. So thank you very much. Yes, and the floor is open for comments and questions. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm Hanna Maidel from the city of Helsinki, and I have been coordinating this gender equality working group for a couple of years. And I must say that on the behalf of city of Helsinki, we have a completely new situation because our new Lord Mayor, who was elected or started his job beginning of this June, already now before Christmas, wants that there would be an evaluation of the international work done in the city of Helsinki, which might mean that Helsinki takes again a stronger position also in the UBC. In this conference, I guess there have been at least 5 or 6 persons from the sector of environment, which is very, very, very delightful. But on the other hand, I must say that there is a lot of skepticism around UBC and its reputation in Helsinki. That worries me a little. But I try to pass the positive message that the renewal process, what Mikko mentioned now, is this renewal of the strategy and maybe also some other things, how we work in the UBC, that should go forward. It has started, but I think a little bit too slow, especially these youth voices. Previous session showed us that the world around us is changing much faster, and we shouldn't be too slow, or we shouldn't underestimate it. And here I quote Anne Stenruuf, who was our speaker yesterday, that according to a survey done in the United States, 2/3 of the baby boomer generation believe in democracy. But for younger generations, only 1/3 believe in democracy. So what a threat is that we have no idea what sort of interests younger generation have. And now I also see in the UBC that this renewal of the commissions was fine, but at the same time, it has meant that there are much more younger people involved who have already quite a lot of experience of international cooperation, and they know how it's done or it should be done, which means that usually the coordinators get exhausted after 2 or 3 years, and that's not fair. I think that sort of the central governance of UBC should support much more the commissions. And also see that there's a danger that if you don't support the commissions enough, you don't need UBC anymore, because the commissions can decide that they don't need these kind of annual conferences, they don't need so much food, they are satisfied with a cup of coffee and 1 hamburger, and they just want to work effectively, and they decide that they have their organization of their own. And also how Anna reminded that maybe in the future we don't need any organizations. We just need task forces, we need actions, and you do actions together with the help of social media or networks or whatever, digitalization, and old-fashioned organizations are gone. And that's why I also very much hope that nobody in the new executive board is against this renewal, or even faces the fact that too much emotional resistance is coming. Because then I must say that I would like to encourage, if somebody feels like that, please step back before it's too late. And the world is going to ask you later, why didn't you step back earlier than that? Thank you.
Thank you for that comment. Floor is open. Jyrki, please. We have here, Jyrki. Oh.
Thank you. I'm Jyrki Myllyvirta from the city of Lahti, Finland. I've been in the executive for this period. The city of Lahti continues, but the representative will be our chairman of the city board instead of me. It's time for me to retire. But I want to first thank the UBC for very good work. There are good changes, good new ways to operate, and it has been nice to see it's going on. And I agree with the speech by the President concerning these matters. But on the other hand, I want to thank the representative of the city of Helsinki for her contribution, because the world is changing really, and we need new kinds of ways to work, new working methods, in order to make this valuable for the cities also in the future, and to get cities to be committed to the work. A network like UBC, it must be superior to other networks in order to keep its members. And there is good work done here in the Presidium, in the Secretariat, but much more is needed, and much more speed is needed for that. And so it's excellent that now there is this reform work taking new speed on the basis of the KPMG report. There will be a task force that will formulate the new ways to work, and I give all my support to this work. I hope that it will renew the organization, keeping the good atmosphere, the good ideas, the good methods of work, but at the same time modernizing this up to the next decennium, in the way the Secretariat works, in the way we use modern methods, and so on. But with these ideas, this UBC has great years to come as well. Thank you.
Thank you for that. And yeah, up row, you've seen it? Yes, fine.
Thank you, Petri Karlsson here from Mariehamn. I would like to bring up one question. I would like to support also the representative from Helsinki in her statements. That was really nice to hear some constructive thinking now. I also would like to address the issue of European Union again and UBC. I think that maybe we're focusing too much on European Union and our role in European Union, when this is a UBC organization for the municipalities and cities within the Baltic. So we should maybe more pay focus to the cities, and the payment goes from the cities to this organization, and the focus should be more on that and less on European Union cooperation. But that's also, of course, important, but maybe more priorities against the cities and less to European Union.
Thank you for your comment. Any more hands just now? Yeah. Per?
Yeah, thank you. Just a few words. Thank you for the comments from Helsinki and Lahti too, and from Mariehamn. I would like to say it like this. We talk about accelerating the process, about things are changing so fast now that, of course, the UBC also has to develop its structures and work accordingly. But I think if I look at myself, being elected a member of the executive board now, actually to take better initiatives to talk more to the Swedish cities, to listen in and prepare in a more thorough way than we have done before what needs to be done to create this communication. So when I go to the meetings and so forth, I can act in a way that we develop the structures better. And that means that we will invite all the Swedish cities. I'll take the opportunity now, because everybody's splitting up, to say that Växjö will invite all the Swedish cities for a thorough discussion before March 14th. That's just as an example that we can assist and help, because it is a member organization. And it starts and it ends with what all the cities does and work. That's the whole basis of the UBC. So the Swedes, I will put more to work now in a discussion, and I think we have a lot of fun things going on for the next 2 years until we have the next general conference. Thank you.
Thank you for your remarks, Per. I should now like also to make a couple of comments myself. First of all, I think that what you said, Per, is a good, that could be copied in the other countries as well. I'm not to blame on anybody, but the more we could, you could say, be interactive also inside the countries, between the cities, the more we would have, you could say, benefit of that in the board. So therefore, it's a very good point to make here. And then, yes and no to the comments about the EU. Yes, because the key element of us, of course, are, which I said in my report as well, and I mentioned that yesterday at the opening, the city-to-city network. That is the very, very important thing, that we maintain the idea of that. And therefore, yes, we should, of course, always know that focus one or priority one is the UBC. On the other hand, I think it would be unwise not to use the possibility of cooperation with other parts. And certainly if they come asking us to be represented in some of their bodies, can I just mention again the Sustainability Commission we have, that has been asked to be part of some of the development work to be done within this European framework. Then, of course, that is a challenge to us, but it's always also a possibility for the cities to get new contacts and also to broaden their knowledge or get new pieces of experience or good ideas. And we could say the Baltic Development Forum, the BSSC, I think that we have to be very open and try to avoid making double work, because we can do quite a lot and we can be heard much better if we go together on common interest, areas of common interest. And then, Jyrki, thank you for your comments. And thank you for your work in the UBC. You have announced that you're retiring so much too early, but I have also said anybody retiring at your age will be ever so busy, so we hope you will be as well. And then Helsinki, yes, I think you have a point, but I also think that in some way there is some sort of, you could say, inity in this, the way we're working. I'll take the commissions, and I will just say that I guess it was at the General Conference in Mariehamn, we had a discussion about the commissions, and they should like to have some sort of help from the Secretariat. And that was practical help. But what did they say as well? Don't touch our circles. And there is a balance there, because of course we have to respect the interest and the enthusiasm of the members of commissions, and we shall not in any way make it like we are forcing, you could say, the system from upwards and down, because it is a bottom-up process, namely having it from the commissions and then into the General Conference, for example, or to the board, or else. But I do agree that the changes now are very, very quick. And I said to some, I've discussed that with some of you during the conference. 8 years ago, when we met, I think that about 70 to 80% of the participants were at my age now. That has changed. I don't know if you noticed, but I've been very happy noticing that. Today, that might be 20% my age. We have had this change in generation. We have had this change lowering the average age, and therefore I think we're on the right track, because you're right, they're using other ways of communicating or other ways of putting up subjects for discussion, because we have new ways of doing this now that we didn't have 10 years ago, and they're using them. I would like to know what is the next very smart idea. What is the next Facebook to be used? Because then I would buy some shares there. But that happens overnight suddenly. That or this is very, very hip, I think is a word as well, or in or modern. So therefore, I listened to what you said, and I think it was positive, because please be aware of the changes. Please be aware also of new ways of communicating, because new generations will not accept the old ways of doing that. But there is a transition period, I think, as well. That was my comments. Yeah, you're just coming up here.
It's a question of practical help. That we got a lot from Gdansk office, thanks to all of them. But I mean, like, it's, as a coordinator, the time is the most valuable resource we have. Many of us think before each meeting, is this worth that I put so much energy, so much time of having 2 or 3 day conference? Many of the younger generations, they are fathers in their family, and they feel guilty when they get an SMS from home that their children are getting ill and they can't go and see them. And I think that's why we should look at the mirror and ask, maybe we should design, maybe with the help of designer like Anne, that do it otherwise in this general conference. We need time to talk with one another once we get, after traveling several hours, to see face to face. We have plenty to talk, and now this structure doesn't give opportunity to that. That's what I mean. The working life has changed. It's very tough in all over the world, in public sector, in European countries, all in UBC cities. Time have changed, and we should find more effective methods to do international work.
Thanks a lot. Could I just say it might be that we should discuss in the board to have, you could say, a common exchange of ideas with the either the coordinators or the chairs of the commissions within the next 2 meetings or whatever, just to find out if we are on the right track, or we should do it otherwise. I appreciate your comments, and I should like to suggest that we could do that. We have, you have the floor up there, and we have a mic just to your left. Yeah, please.
Dear colleagues, my name is Vilnis Itkovskis, and I am from Liepāja, from Latvia. And I would like to add my view. I feel responsibility to add my comment today. And my comment is about that in every organization and every company, it's always very important to express the critique and thoughts, to provide feedbacks and it always helps. It always improves the organization, and we have to listen, and we have to hear view of colleagues. We have to understand the situations, and we must work better. But meantime, this is also about decision making. This is about actions, and this is about responsibilities. And it's always very tricky to answer this question, who is responsible? The president, the board, Mikko, me? My point is that somehow we all are responsible about everything. We all are responsible about about that, for example, that today in this place are much many people than yesterday in the dinner. We all are responsible that we discuss in the corners, and because it's important that we express our critics and thoughts here. But everything is really up to us. Such events like General Conference, it could be as good restart. It must be. And we have new board, we have new elected president and vice presidents, and we must work just better. And my final belief is that the best days of UBC will come. And just one small remark from the previous session, I have heard that in Latvia there is gender problems, that women earn less than men. But I would like to add to this point that Latvia is the best example in Europe that in highest positions is the best balance between ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for attention.
Yep. I think you hit something there, but that was just, you could say, I just thought what Per said earlier. Of course, we all share the responsibility, and we have the possibility to take initiatives that might be between the cities of a country, or it might be in groups, or it might be in commissions. But thank you for your comments. They are good. And when you said who is having the responsibility, the president, the board, Mikko, or yourself, I was just saying, could we choose you? But then you came with the answer. Of course, we are all responsible. Okay. Any other comments? Yes, please. We have.
I have a comment.
But we're having.
Which way are you pointing, President? This way or this way? Okay, my name is Nils Peter. I'm representing Aarhus, and I'm the chairman of the Planning Cities Commission. So actually, I'm the hardcore of the UBC network. We heard that the commission and what they do is the most important. And therefore, I'm appealing to you, because the commissions are you too. And 3 weeks ago, we had to cancel a commission meeting in Oskarshamn because there were only 19 registered participants. And we made more than 30 commission meetings as workshops in different host cities the last 25 years. And this is how we work. I always had a long list of coming up host cities who were interested in having between 20 or 50 or sometimes more than 60 planners coming to their city, work with local problems, talking to local politicians in the end, giving good advices. But if nobody comes to the commission meetings, and if I don't get new cities on my waiting list, which is now on 0, then it will die everything from itself, like you say when you speak in German, comes from alone. I'm German married, so I mix my English with a little bit German. So my appeal is that you go home in your cities, and I can start with my own one, because I'm the only representative from Aarhus here. And I pass a lot of invitations to write to the magazines, to my colleagues in the very big administration in Aarhus. We are 30,000 employees, so I think we have time. I don't think time is a problem. We have a really long future in front of us. So, and I don't think we should stop meeting, and we can't make such seminars and such work together without meetings. So we have to do it, but we also have to maybe change the story, because we focus a lot about the history and the fall of the wall and the Iron Curtain, but these young people which are now coming into the network, some of them were not even born at that time, and they are not really interested in this history. They are interested in their future. So I agree with Maria Ham. We should focus more in what is exactly our common agenda around the Baltic Sea. And we have a lot, and we should work more together with our neighbors than US or China or whatever. There's a lot to do in our own region. But first step is that politicians and leaders from the 85 cities start to send their colleagues to the commission meetings. So everybody, please register for new host cities, and we will come with 40, 50 planners and give good advices on your subjects in your cities. And this is how we work in the Planning Cities Commission. Thank you.
Thank you, Niels Peter. Gunnar, I guess.
Hello, my name is Gunnar Sansiņš. I'm from city of Liepāja, Latvia. And I was participating in a number of UBC commissions from decades, I would like to say. And I had a 4 years break. And my colleague Vilnis Vitkovskis is following up everything which is today in a board level. But of course, from my side, I would like to wish UBC successful development. But of course, successful development is also discussion about the staff of commissions, the staff of secretariat. And sometimes in organizations we are asking for people a little bit, maybe too much. And therefore I would like to say we have together a little bit think about the secretariat, because ask for 3 full-time employees to make work for 10, you cannot get results. Therefore, I would like to say and recommend to make stronger secretariat and work together with the commissions, which I would like to say is engine of UBC. Thank you indeed.
Thank you, Gunnar. I now should like to ask the audience if I could go back to one of the points. It's membership fees, because that's what this is all about. Of course, we can have more people employed, but then you have to pay more. So therefore, I think it's correct, Ms. Peter, that we shall not, you could say, rest with the past. Now, this is a 25-year anniversary General Conference, so therefore, of course, we have had to also to remember people having done quite a lot of things and what has been accomplished. But I also agree that now the future is, of course, always the most interesting thing. And as a politician, I think all of you being politicians, we're not elected on what we did, but we're elected on what we promised to do, hopefully. And therefore, I'm quite confident that the new generation of leaders, we have seen them, they are around, you are around also here. You will be able also to define new ways of walking. And what is important is that we're walking together. And that be within the Baltic Sea, or, and now you were thank you for mentioning, for example, China. But that is just another one. EU is one. China might be another one. There might be others as well. So therefore, this is, to me, this is a fantastic possibility for the cities also to connect to cities outside of the Baltic area. Also to learn from others, and that can be done. I'm quite certain about that. But thank you, Gunnar, for you. I was teasing you a bit because you're right. Quite a lot. I said it in my report as well. Quite a lot of work has been done, both in the commissions and by others, by our observers, but certainly also in the Secretariat. We have chosen this way, and it might be it shall be changed. Then we discuss that. We will take it up in the board. So, yep, Mikko, please.
I think Gunnar's raised an important issue, and I would like to put it to the board to discuss how can we increase our resources. This is I think the membership fee, which is difficult to raise, is not the only income in this world. I mean, the world is richer than ever. There is more money in the world than ever before. So it's a question, can we do something? Can we, for example, we set our task in the strategy that we would develop more, it was the initiative of the Swedish cities, to develop more project work where you can get funding and also use your overheads or whatever it is. I mean, in the sustainable development work, we have a commission in Turku with 17 full-time people with millions, tens of millions of euros in portfolio. I'm sure there is a lot of possibilities. We should have a look at this. How can we get more resources into our common work program? I think it should be possible. It's not easy, but it's not impossible.
Fine. Thank you. Could you just hand the mic to Tono, please?
Thank you. Just like Gunnar's, I have been 4 years not around, but now I'm having the other umbrella or hat and now back again, and I'm pleased to be here. And I have been following the development from 1992, so they were ups and downs, and the teams to change for younger ones. Like, but first of all, thanks to Gdańsk for just hosting and giving the home already for long, and employing the people, and keeping sort of the heart of this network. Another point in the context of the need of change is one change is up now in Estonia. It is the administrative reform. And when Anna was asking how many people in Keila, it is below 10,000, and by the decision and the proposal, that is a small city, not many of them, but the biggest ever city in Estonia and in the region will not be Stockholm or Helsinki, but Pärnu. The territory will be about 200 square kilometers because of the administrative reform, and so therefore it has been cities, but now Pärnu will stay, Haapsalu will stay, but the whole structure will be different. So therefore Estonian cities, in making now the budget and the new councils, which are getting together only in a week, 2 or 3, in Tallinn and in Elva and Haapsalu, Pärnu, and you just name it, it's a problem. What does it mean, the membership? Just in Hiiumaa, in Daagö, they have been already the city and the county. Now the full setup is changing, maybe the same is in some other countries as well, and so therefore I made a proposal and asked for the task to the board to give some time to see how to sort out when I go back to Keila to report, as I'm standing for Keila now. We have to know about the fees, and I have to tell to Hiiumaa, the city of Kardla was only 3,000, keeping the educational commission, but now the whole just island. How to explain the joining administrations? So therefore, if anybody has the experience, there was a big reform in Finland years ago. Well, we ask for assistance, guidance, and also some specific transfer period as finances. Thank you.
Thank you, Tono. And yes, we have one there. I just wanted to say that the last comments you made there, we already decided on this, you could say, prolongation of the membership. But I think that it would be a good idea, you're asking for experiences from other countries, and we had a reform in Denmark in 2006. I think Niels Peter will be very knowing about that. Also the planning situation and so on. So, and other members here might have the same. So we can, of course, offer for free what we always say, I always say offer for free the experiences that we have. And then, of course, you have to decide yourself. So we had up here, yep.
Thank you, Mr. President. Pekka Komu from City of Lahti. Just a brief comment. You mentioned that we need to have a new way to walk. And how I see the situation is that the City of Lahti is not about the people working for City of Lahti. City of Lahti is the people living in Lahti. And that's the thing that we always also should have in UBC, that we should have direct impact to the inhabitants that are living in our cities. Direct impact without going through the officials that we are. And that could be also new digital, cost-efficient way to have larger impact. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. An idea to be worked with, certainly. There's one more.
Marta Hełkowska, I'm a member of board of Audit. Thank you very much for that occasion that I can work for you for several years. I'd like only to make one comment. It's always a question about our role in UBC, and we have three bodies. We have the board, we have commissions, and we have the secretariat. And the commissions are the biggest value, and they bring the biggest value to the UBC organization. So this is they play the main role. But the secretariat, few persons, I'm not sure if you realize, but they do their job. It's only simple organization, the event, preparing documents, make connections, and nothing more. If you expect something more, that secretariat will inspire us, like commission should inspire us, yes, for new challenges. If we want to change the role of secretariat, we can call it office or bureau, and we can help them, because for 3 persons it's impossible to play a role which we dream about. And maybe this is a question that we have to change the formula. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Marta. I think that all the comments here we have noted them, of course, and they have been also reported on the electronic devices we have. But I think it's important that we keep in mind and remind each other about what has been said and what is going to be worked with, because these are good remarks, all of them, for the future to come. One more, or more. We have a quarter of an hour before lunchtime.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Björn Gröm. I'm head of the Sustainable Cities Commission, and really happy to have the discussion here. And I think that the general meeting is where we should critically look at the organization, what we could do better. When it comes to the resourcing, money and stuff and so on, yes, we do have it. but it very much is then tied to external funding in projects and so on. But I offered 2 years ago, last year also, I will do it again, that if the other commissions and organizations would like to look into funding opportunities or resourcing, we are able to help it, I will do it very, very well and nice.
Thank you, Björn. I remember that, and you have offered it today. We've all heard it. Please make use of it then. But it might be that we should, as I said earlier, we should make you could say, a common meeting with the chairs of the commissions, and thereby maybe say what are the possibilities, who can help you. Just like we could say, I said to Tono that we may be able to help some of us. Okay. Did we conclude the discussion now? No, please.
Yeah, this is my final comment. That actually when I'm listening now to this discussion, I was looking at again the statutory, the strategic papers, and I know this a worrying thing. And I think this has happened to many, many organizations. It happens regularly in projects that the means and aims change place. I have heard it several times during these years that one aim of UBC is networking, and that's worrying. Networking can be only a mean to achieve something. It can be only an act, an output, but it can never be an aim. So, and usually I think in annual conferences like this, you should always clarify the aims. And now we have been discussing mostly about the means, but I can't remember by heart what is the aim of UBC and how it connects to networking and other means. This path, this logical path, how do we achieve our aims with what kind of means, still I think needs clarification.
I understand your question, but I'm afraid I cannot answer you here, because that is also a discussion connected to the commissions. The commissions are, I said it in my report and my speech yesterday, the commissions are in fact the policy-making factor of the UBC. And I agree that a network, it's sort of a tool in the toolbox, it's a mean. But on the other hand, talking about change in the world, then it might be a very good idea that we have vivid and living commissions that are able to also to pick up the changes within their special area, being sustainability, being the cultural side or whatever. So therefore, I think you will have, you would get more different answers, but depending on the commissions and what they think is the important things to discuss. And then I still agree that there are quite a lot of different tools that we have not used yet, but they're still there for us to do it. Therefore, thank you for raising it. I shall now ask if anybody else would like the floor, take the floor. If not so, I think out from, well, normal procedure, we should just, we should also accept the report. So please grab your voting cards, and still the blue are the yes cards and the red are no cards. So please, can you adopt the report? Then it is yes or no. Blue cards, yes. Thank you. Any red cards? That is not the case. Thank you very much. It is adopted. Then we have the discussion about, and it'll be a tough one, where are we going to have the next annual general conference in 2019? we have one suggestion, and I should like very much to support that we could go to Kaunas. And I guess, Mantas, that you can support that as well on behalf of the city. So please come up.
Dear friends, I will not be long. I know your stomachs are waiting for something else, not only voting. But in the name of all mayor team and all Kaunas team, first we want to thank for a huge effort and very strong cooperation for Vakshak team. Amazing, good job, fantastic. And we will do our best, and you will have a Kaunastic conference in 2019. So we do ask for your support, and we will accept this challenge. So in 2018, it will be Kaunastic. Thank you.
Yes, I would like to pass over something from us being hosts for this general conference, and you have the opportunity to, I hope everybody votes yes for Kaunas, because I strongly support that you're ready to take on not only the task, but also the flag that we would like to pass from Växjö to Kaunas. You're welcome. They can officially use that now, if we decide so, right? Yes. Well, that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you. Well, we shall be looking forward to going to Kaunas for the next General Conference, and I'm quite certain that that will also be a very good experience to all of us. We've come to the end of the Statutory General Conference. I would like to thank all of you for your comments, and also personally thank you for my re-election. I shall be very eager in also trying with the new board to implement or discuss and maybe implement some of the ideas being put forward here at the General Conference. And then, of course, I should also like to once again to underline what has been said in other words by Niels Peter and by Björn. Please do participate, and if we can help each other, don't hesitate to ask for help, because that is the way we have been working, and I guess that is the way we still should be working. Then the toolbox might be full up with other ways of doing it, but the basic of it is that we are there to help each other and to develop our common region in a positive and prosperous way. Thank you very much for this. I declare this, the General Conference, closed now, and shall say to the newly elected board that we should meet now during lunchtime, where the mayor's lunch was yesterday, in what's called the Arte Café. So thank you very much, and luncheon in half an hour for the rest of you. Thank you.
It's gonna work it anyway, and we will just wake up in a bed of sunrise.
Take a look at the screen, please. Take a look at the. That's where you're going.
And we will just forget the world of sadness. I want a feeling like this. I want a feeling like that. I want a feeling. I want a feeling. I want a feeling like this.